It's tax season again. And as par for the course, I have not started my taxes yet, but I still have 2 weeks. So, a busy 2 weeks, but that is what it is. Pretty par for the course. So, what are my thoughts on taxes? Well, of course, it's frustrating. Nobody likes it, but it's an inevitable part of life, death and taxes. Um, I think we need to shift our perspective on it. I think instead of thinking of us versus them, I think in private sector versus government and socialist, the tag words of socialism versus capitalism. I think we need to think of efficiency and problem solving. And specifically, I want to prove out the model of a better way of deploying capital to solve social problems. And a bit of a, I suppose if you had to put me in a category, you'd put me in the category of radical. I believe we can reform the system. There'll be so much abundance that we can, have lower taxes or no taxes, and also have universal health care, for example. Not that we necessarily need to do that. But, like a public educational system, we need schools, we need good schools. And rather than thinking of government versus private sector, although in general I rather than thinking of government versus private sector, I think we should think of efficiency, innovation versus poorly run things. So there can be well-run schools, there can be efficient schools, there can be innovative schools, and there can be crappy schools. There can be crappy private schools, crappy charter schools, and there can be really good private schools. And there can be very good public schools, and there can be very good charter schools. And I think we should focus on making all of our schools good and better. That's kind of my vision, my perspective across the board. We need to look at the problems in a different way, and specifically, I want to model a more efficient way of deploying capital. I would encourage high net worth individuals to be savvy because they can give less money to the government and more money to the causes they care about. And that can be extremely significant just by thinking it through and being more generous. And, who wouldn't rather deploy the capital directly and be more directly involved than just pay it in taxes? But I would want to go beyond that. I want to prove that model out and show that we can deploy capital better and implement social services in a radically more efficient way, focused around the goal of solving problems, and then leverage that as a tool to come back and to then inform policy and then change policy so that government now, us as the people, see, even that term government, I don't think we should think of that. We should think through our government. It's our government and it's responsible to us, and we need to take ownership of that. And I think we can then inform ourselves and have tools driven by data, driven by evidence, that so we make better policies and reform the policies so that we better mobilize the deployment of our tax dollars. So we're going to have taxes. Render unto Caesar what is Caesar, and unto God what is God's. Be savvy and generous so you can give more money to the causes you care about and less away in taxes, but then be involved in your philanthropy. And let's reform the way we as a society deploy our capital to run our society.